That's a very good question. Well, first of all, I have to learn vocabulary, the rhythmic, melodic, and harmonic vocabulary of the music. The question is, where do you get it? I got it from the tradition. I copied by ear. When I was going to Berkeley, there was a building behind there called 905 where a whole bunch of musicians lived in SRO, single room occupancy. Someone would get the new Miles record. We're all broke, man. And there'd be then 10 guys in this room, and we'd play that record over and over. And then everybody would sing the solos all together. Then we would all sing them without the record. Once we could do that, we'd all go to our individual rooms and play the solos because we had them memorized. It was the oral tradition. It wasn't transcribing. It wasn't analysis. You're trying to learn a sound, not a theory. So we came to it from a sound point of view. That's the great thing about the oral tradition. But the question is, and what's the selective process? And I'm assuming that the selective process is based on your listening. You have to be listening 28 hours a day. One of the things I count on in my teaching is that everybody's been listening so that once I make a point, the ring of truth occurs. They say, oh, I've heard that, or I felt that. Prerequisite is unremittent listening. Unremittent. Here's what I think. I don't think it's a matter of taking external information and internalizing it. I think it's just the reverse. I think it's taking external information to bring out your own internal information. In other words, when you are attracted to a particular artist, there's a reason for it. There's a resonance that's been created between you and that artist. You respond emotionally and psychologically to the music. The reason is, one of the greatest definitions of art I ever heard is, art is supposed to teach you something about yourself you didn't know before. It's supposed to be a process of self-discovery. What to practice. What you respond to emotionally on an intuitive level. I can put you all in the same room and I can play a Coltrane solo and ask each of you to pick out your favorite lick. Most of you will pick out different licks because all of you feel differently about music. You'll pick a lick out that you respond to, you relate to. That lick is telling you how you feel about music, not how Coltrane felt about the music. You're not trying to learn how Coltrane heard. You're trying to learn how you hear. And these emotional responses to the music, external music, are clues to how you hear. And your responsibility is to get deeply involved in that sound. If you like everything Keith Jarrett plays, man, you got to study Keith Jarrett. I never studied him because, it felt like modestly, we were going in the same direction. We had the same kind of feeling and approach. I said, I'm going to stay away from him. I'm not going to study him because everybody's going to say I copied Bill Evans, which they do anyway. But whenever he came to town, I was there every night, believe me, every night. But I didn't actively research and study him. Gave me 2 sets of CDs, The Last Waltz and Consecration. And listening to these recordings were brutal for a piano player. I was spending the summer dedicated to listening to these because for some reason, Bill was calling me. I was attracted to him. I was feeling this strong. So because of this theory that I have, I felt Bill's trying to tell me something about my playing, and I got to find out what it is, and he's dead. I started researching Bill Evans. I found as many books that I could find about Bill Evans. I managed to find a lot of doctoral. I spoke to everybody that played with him that I knew, everybody that hung with him that I knew, everybody that I knew that got high with him I spoke to. I did such amount of research and I came to a couple of conclusions. I wasn't interested in his line playing, that I was happy with my line playing. Also that I was happy with the rhythmic aspect of my playing. So the only thing that left was the harmony. And I realized finally Bill was trying to tell me, fix your chords, Hal, they're not cool. What I didn't know was counterpoint. and that harmony is counterpoint. They didn't teach counterpoint at Berkeley. What I heard was it takes 7 years to learn species counterpoint. Get the books out and start working on species counterpoint. But I realized counterpoint voicings had a particular sound because the rules of counterpoint are based on the science of sound. As piano players, we are taught harmony as in a shortcut, stacks. Stacks of thirds or stacks of fourths. But that's just a shortcut. That's not true harmony. And I learned it that way. So now I'm working on my chord motion, trying to follow at least the general rules of counterpoint, which is all notes in a voicing must move melodically, independently. They must have a strong melody. For the last 10 years, I've been working on that. Bill was trying to tell me to fix my changes because I realized I was not, for decades, I had been not happy with my voicings. Your voicings suck. You could do better, you know. So I've been working real hard since 2000. It's just starting to get in my playing. So that's a big challenge. My first rule of practicing, practice what you like. What I mean is what you respond to on an emotional level, because that's telling you something about yourself. Practice what you like. Practice when you're interested, because if you're not interested, if you're not concentrating, you are not learning anything. You're just wasting time.